welcome to Above Replacement Radio. I am your host, Chris Gianta. You know what Christy Mathewson wasn't worried about? SIERA. When you're thinking about Pedro Siriaco, I mean, the only one that can compete is maybe Hannes Wagner's 1908 season. Over there on the other side of the screen is Daniel Curran.
Like, if we just clip together every time we've talked about him on other people's profiles, we've done a Mickey Cochran episode.
I can't get past Rabbit Marinville. It's not necessarily Hall of Fame. It's not necessarily above average, but we can guarantee you we are better than just the standard replacement level college sophomore.
And welcome to Above Replacement Radio. We're talking baseball, kind of whenever. I'm your host, Chris Gianta. Across from me, as you cannot see on YouTube, unfortunately, is Daniel Curran. How you doing, Daniel?
Chris, I'm doing very well today. We got 3 games to go over. We got hot takes from media members. We got actual results of games being overshadowed by managerial decisions that have reflected the way baseball has evolved over the last 15 years and why that's a bigger story than a team winning a game in which the manager made a decision that would be considered controversial 5 years ago. Yeah, we got great things to talk about today.
Yeah, exactly. It is actually, you know what just popped in my head that hasn't been in my head for a while is Anibal Sanchez Game 1 of 2013 ALCS. I have no idea why that didn't pop up in my head before, but it just popped in my head because I think he had like 120 pitches though when he came out of that game. It was crazy. He had 6 walks.
Yeah.
It was like a very unimpressive no-hit bid. But anyway, yes, baseball happened again for the second straight episode, or for the 100. There's been a lot of part of the show where baseball did not happen.
Yeah.
Shout out to 2020.
How 2020 was that?
How 2020 was that, exactly. Baseball did happen again, and baseball will happen again after this. We'll talk about more baseball after this episode.
Yeah, we'll talk about some upcoming baseball for the last time.
Yeah, guaranteed last time. Unless we preview some Arizona Fall League games. Yeah. If they want to update those stats, that'd be nice. I was about to say
they did yesterday. I checked yesterday.
I was about to say unless there's a bunch of rainouts, but that's not even possible.
In Arizona, yeah.
But
in Houston.
In Houston. So I mean, I guess we'll just start out with Game 3. We were watching it at a party, which was fun. Yes. It was a good time.
Yes.
We were dressed up. I was Scooby-Doo. Daniel was in the T.C. Tugger shirt from the Netflix show I Think You Should Leave.
With Tim Robinson.
So we were dressed up, watching baseball on Daniel's laptop, and you can go ahead if you want. We were dressed up watching the game on Daniel's laptop. It was a good time. There was not much happening in the game. I'm trying to remember how the first run scored, actually.
It was on a Riley single.
It was on...
Also Riley single.
It was, first inning, right?
Yes. No, it was like third inning.
Okay, I got my facts wrong. I should have these things pulled up.
It was an Austin Riley single in the third inning. I had to move. We have some behind-the-scenes stuff going on today. I had to work with that.
Yep, we got, we're contributing to our Springfield College major here. Which a lot of people aren't doing. But
I want to, one day, not today, obviously, but I want to talk about, Arizona Fall League tendencies.
Yeah,
my God, they are insane.
They truly are. You've showed them to me. It goes back to that tweet, looking at the data and simply laughing.
Exactly.
I guess I was misremembering Game 3. It was a shutout through the first 2.5 innings. Then Luis Garcia had to see the top of the lineup again. He walked Eddie Rosario, allowed a single to Freddie Freeman, and then it was first and second for Ozzie Albies, and there was a strikeout there, first and second, and 1 out. Austin Riley hits a double. He comes through once again and drives in a run, and it's second and third, 1 out. Maybe the Braves can get a rally going. They don't, and it's only 1-0 after the bottom of the third. But the story of the night was, for multiple reasons, Ian Anderson.
Yes.
Do you want to get into
my
him?
guy. Ian Anderson from Shenandoah High School. He played baseball with Kevin Herter. I really hope that becomes like the next like Kershaw and Matt Stafford. I really hope it does, because it was referenced on the broadcast. He goes out there, throws 5 no-hit innings with 3 walks. So I mean, it wasn't like complete domination. He wasn't, he had some trouble finding the zone, mostly in the first inning because he had 2 walks in the first. But he had 76 pitches through 5 innings. So what did Brian Snicker do? He did what any manager would do, got Minter up and moving.
Yes.
He did. A.J. Minter pitched the 6th, Luke Jackson pitched the 7th, Tyler Motzik pitched the 8th, and Will Smith pitched the 9th. Obviously, there was a lot of controversy surrounding pulling Ian Anderson with a no-hitter after 5 innings. Just click stop recording.
Okay.
Yeah. And that, I know that there was a lot of people upset, and it made 0 sense because, like I mentioned, Ian Anderson had 3 walks in 5 innings. He had 76 pitches through 5. He was never going to finish off that no-hitter. It just wasn't happening no matter what. So it makes sense to put in Minter and put in the guy where you actually have a better chance of going away with the win, and that made a lot of people upset.
Yeah, it did make a lot of people upset, but not for the right reasons, at least in our minds.
No.
You play to win the game, as to make a football reference, as the great Herm Edwards would say, and you can't be worried about the romantic side of things, especially when I would imagine, probably like time through the order stats maybe played a factor, as Ian Anderson after the 5th, yeah, he got Marwin Gonzalez was his last out. That was the bottom of the order. So he was going to face the lineup for the 3rd time. I imagine actually we can see it for real and see like what his 3rd time through the order stats were, as I feel like that's been a
Well, Ian Anderson's stats are like it's probably worse first time through the order because his first inning stats are like particularly bad. Like it doesn't really matter what percent, like what time through the order it was. I don't think that's what the decision came down to. I think it was literally just who cares about the no hitter. Like would you rather have 6th inning AJ Minter or 6th inning Ian Anderson?
Right, exactly. And anyone watching the game knew he wasn't Roy Halladay.
Yeah, and not only that, but it was a 1-run game. All Ian Anderson had to do was miss location on one changeup, and that changes the entire course of the game.
Right.
You're not thinking long term. You're thinking batter for batter. Who do you want? And your relievers are the correct answer there.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, it is funny. His highest OPS against is first plate appearance in the game. First time through the order.
Yeah.
He has a very interesting time through the order thing. It's 772 first time, 520 second time, 764.
Yeah.
The 3rd time.
Yep. So he was going to face the lineup again. He faced literally Jose Altuve was due up in that 6th inning, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, as I was saying, his last out was Marwin Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And he was pinch hitting for the pitcher spot. So that was the 9th hitter. It wasn't a great key night, so it was the 9th hitter.
Yeah.
And it ended it ended up working out, and we can't complain at all about that. It's not even like a Blake Snell situation where we could have been like, well, it bit him in the end. Nope.
Yeah, no.
No, it actually worked out exactly how Brian Snicker wanted it to work out.
Yeah.
See, this is when they don't bring up like.
Exactly. Like if the Rays did that, nobody talks about taking Blake Snell out of that game.
Yeah.
If Nick Anderson buckled down, didn't throw a wild pitch.
And we know that because Kevin Cash did that multiple times in the last playoffs, and it worked, and no one cared.
He literally did it with. I'm pretty sure he did it with Blake Snell throwing a no hitter.
Yeah, he did it with Blake Snell
in the wild card series.
In the wild card series,
he gave up his first hit in like the 6th inning, and that was it.
Yeah, and then he did the same thing with Charlie Morton in Game 7 of the ALCS.
Yep.
And it worked.
It worked.
So yeah.
People only get outraged during the times it doesn't work, which is outnumbered by the times it does work.
That's true. Otherwise, it wouldn't be happening. So yeah, Ian Anderson, and yeah, like we were saying, like Ian Anderson, he looked good, but he didn't look super dominant, as you can see, like
Yeah.
peripherally. 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. It's like, well, this no hitter probably isn't gonna happen. Also, he's throwing over 15 pitches per inning, so that puts him on a pace of around like 140 pitches if you were to finish this thing.
Yeah,
like,
no.
geez,
In a 1-run game.
just like let's stop this
Like
now.
if it's 6-0, then yeah, I'd say maybe you bring him out for the 6th. But it was 1-0. Like you're trying to win that game. That's a game where whoever wins goes up 2-1 in the series. That's enormous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a crucial game.
Yeah.
And Snicker did the right thing. And
Yeah, but the amount of headlines after the game about like this is a problem. Like Ken Rosenthal had a column where he was like, I'm gonna find it. Yeah, it was the headline was, or his tweet was, it's not a question of whether Brian Snitker made the right call. He did, based on the way the game has evolved. The question is how to bring back starting pitching to improve the game's entertainment quality. That is the real issue. So, I mean, Ken Rosenthal isn't even hiding it. He cares more about entertainment value than winning.
yeah. And I mean, like, and we've talked about whatever ratings, they've been going up as the game has evolved into this analytics thing where people are saying it's getting more boring. So I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that. Like, it clearly, I don't know if people are watching this particular World Series with intent, but they've been watching the playoffs at a higher rate than they were in the past few years, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
According to some statistics. I don't know. Rating statistics are weird.
They are very weird, but whatever. I mean, there was a million different headlines about how this was a problem. If you want, like, I mean, I'm going to say this a million times until it eventually happens. Put a pitch clock in there. It'll that's the only legit way that pace of play can be improved, unless you consider less commercials, which we don't have any control over.
Yeah, it would be
The
interesting.
Players Association doesn't either.
It would be interesting to see a pitch clock with runners on base. I feel like that would be the thing that would really lock it in. But I understand there's a conflict there because pitchers need to change the timing of the base runner. So I understand how we've been doing this way for over 150 years. So it might change that a little bit. It would be interesting to see it like a play clock in football, though. Like, he's got 2 seconds to either throw it over to first or pitch. What is he going to do?
Yeah.
That would be interesting, and just have it like on the screen. That would be pretty interesting. But yeah, pace of play has been odd. We'll get into it later with like game 4.
God. I mean, game 4 was very odd.
3-2, and it was like a 3-hour, 40-minute game.
Yep.
It was tough.
I mean, at least it was a good 3 hour. It was a good 3-2.
Yeah, it was close to not being a very entertaining game.
Yeah.
So I guess game 3, Snicker does the right thing. Snicker's been pushing the right buttons pretty much all playoffs, which is I saw him as more of a. I didn't see him as a great manager like before this year, but I'm gaining more respect as these playoffs go on. So I guess we go into game 4 now, and it's the Dylan Lee game. Do you want to get into Dylan Lee's?
Yeah, my
performance?
God. What was it? Walk, strikeout, walk. No, it was single. It was infield single, walk, strikeout, walk, and that was it.
Yeah, I missed the entire outing because I was like washing dishes. I was like, I'll get to the rest of this game.
Yeah, checkmate pace of play. I was washing dishes and I missed an entire pitcher's outing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it was interesting to see Dylan Lee out there.
We were also at a party for this game, one that we were hosting.
Yeah, we were hosting it. I was not dressed up.
Yeah.
I was,
I changed into a Barry Bonds jersey midway through the game.
Yeah, I was very out of the party. Very much way more out of the party than I was on Friday night.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of chill and saying hi to people. I think you were doing mostly the same.
Mostly, yeah.
So it's Dylan Lee, and then Kyle Wright comes in, and he actually does a decent job.
He did a great job. Kyle Wright deserves an enormous amount of praise for what he did.
Yeah,
Because I think a lot of people remember Kyle Wright just for that one start in 2020. It was Game 3 of the NLCS. And, I mean, my God, he absolutely turned it around and had an enormous outing in Game 4.
Yeah, he one thing I looked at, he had 16 batted balls against and 9 were ground balls, so that's a very good rate.
That's more than half. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's like 56% if I remember correctly.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's a good rate to have. He kept it on the ground. Just one hiccup with Jose Altuve, and I think
Was that him? Yeah, it was.
I think he did very well with runners in scoring position.
He absolutely did. Well, the Astros went 0 for 9, I believe, with runners in scoring position. 0 for 8.
And I should take a look to see how many of those plate appearances happened with Kyle Wright on the mound, because he did give up some base runners, but he was able to hold them back, not allow them to come in. So, yeah, Kyle Wright, he came in with the bases loaded and Carlos Correa up. He got a ground out that scored a run. So
the one run of the inning.
So in the first inning, they were 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. Then in the top of the second, they were also 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position, so 0 for 4 on the day. Then top of the third, we have runners in scoring. We have first and second, 1 out, and 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. And top 4, no one was in scoring position. Top 5, we got another. They were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position against Kyle Wright. 0 for 7.
Wow.
So Kyle Wright, he bucked up and got it together with runners in scoring position, which was pretty huge.
He did. I mean, that's a lot of people are going to look at the 2 home runs, and they should, but you don't win that game without Kyle Wright's performance. No. I would love to see what was his WPA for the game. It was 1.126.
Like, the way the game started and how quickly Kyle Wright had to come in and how Zach Greinke was doing, no way the Braves should have won that game.
Zach Greinke went 4 shutout innings.
Yeah, but because of Kyle Wright, he put the team in a position to win. And isn't that what it's all about? Putting your team in a position to win. I mean, we don't talk about that enough.
No, we don't. Yeah, I mean, he gave up his hits per 9 for that start was above 9. But you know what? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, 0-0-0
he
average against.
Gave up 8 base runners in 4 2/3 innings. And you know what? He got out of it. He buckled down. That's been the thing about the Braves this series. Like, they have gotten the outs that they needed.
Yeah, that's very true. Example 1A, Tyler Motzek.
Literally Tyler Motzek. Like, they've gotten themselves in plenty of trouble before, but they've come out unscathed so many times. And that's literally been the difference between playing right now and being at home, whether that be against the Brewers, Dodgers, or Astros.
Exactly. So Kyle Wright gets through the 5th inning unscathed altogether. The run, I guess he allowed 1 run, which is just very impressive. And then bottom of the 6th, we start to see some action from the Braves lineup. Orlando Arcia lines out, then Eddie Rosario doubles, then Freddie Freeman walks, Phil Matone comes in, and he strikes out Ozzie Albies, but Austin Riley gets a RBI single to bring it within 1, but the Motton gets out of that one.
I can't help but laugh at how many times Motton has been called upon this postseason. My God, every single time.
Yeah, his arm is going to fall off.
He's getting Brandon Morrowed.
Yeah.
Hang on. So the Astros have played in, 4 plus 6 plus... So they've played in 15 games this postseason. Motton has pitched in 10 of them.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I'm guessing
9,
he's a free
10,
agent
11,
after this year.
11 of them. 11 of them. No, he's not.
Oh,
He's a free agent after 2023. Yeah, he's pitched in 11 of the 15 postseason games. He appeared in 3 of the 4 games against the White Sox. He appeared in 4 of the 6 games against the Red Sox, and he's appeared in 4 of the 5 games against the Braves.
yeah. They should just next year. They should just have him in extended
And he's
spring
doing
training.
yeah, and he's doing great. Like he's an 0.82 ERA out of the bullpen this playoffs with a 2.81 FIP.
That's true. Yeah, he's been like,
And that's just because he doesn't have a lot of strikeouts.
like he hasn't been bad at all.
No.
That's a good point. Yeah,
He's
just
given up a run. He's given up a run in only 1 outing, and it was an inning and a third in a 12-3 game. Like who cares?
right.
Yeah, he's given up 1 run in 14 and a third innings pitched. There's a reason they keep calling upon him, but it's just, my God,
like if it's if we were to play like World Series bingo, you just anytime
and in
there's
free space, Phil Modden is warming up.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the 6th inning, and you got number what is his numbers in like
88.
88. You got
Yeah.
number 88, tall righty out there warming up.
Yeah, 6'2" right-hander.
Yeah.
What's the pitch mix?
Yeah, it's been funny for sure.
Yeah, and that was a mid-season acquisition for them too.
Yeah, did you?
That's someone they've had for 2 months. They're like, this is our guy every single time.
By the way, there's this cool tweet. I forget who had it, but
Miles Straw.
Miles Straw
Yeah.
was at the Braves game in a Michael Brantley jersey. Miles Straw, by the way, for context, I think I had to be explained this also.
Was traded for Phil Modden.
Was traded for Phil Motton.
Yeah.
And he was in Cleveland for the remainder of the year. So I mean, he's got to root for the Astros. He's getting that ring if he does, if they do win it. But anyway, back to Game 4. It was looking like, this might be we might be split here. We might have a 2-2 series here. But the Braves offense had something to say about that, as Dansby Swanson, with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th against Christian Javier, hit a nice opposite field home run over the right field fence. And then after Swanson, Jorge Soler pinch hits for the pitcher spot, and he gets a home run. And it's 3-2. And it's like, oh, wow. And then after that, immediately responding is Aledmus Diaz, who hits a nice line drive seemingly over Eddie Rosario's head. But Rosario makes the catch against the wall. And all the momentum seemed to be going the Braves' way. And that's how it ended up going. And the Braves bullpen, as they have been the entire series, just shutting things down. Luke Jackson ended up going 1-2-3, partially thanks to Rosario's defense, which you rarely credit Rosario's defense.
Very rarely. Unless he's throwing the ball.
Unless he's throwing the ball. And then Will Smith, 1-2-3 inning, and the Braves win. And they're one win away from winning the World Series. So what were some of your takeaways from Game 4?
My takeaways from Game 4 is that, Kyle Wright buckled down. It was that Phil Modden is going to need arm surgery. And it was that the Braves, they came through when they needed to. Everything, like the 0-for-9 or 0-for-8 against with runners in scoring position, the 2 big home runs. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Huge.
So then Game 5 happens. We're heading into it being like, this could be the last game of the year. Could very well be here on this Sunday night. And the in the first inning we see a grand slam from the Braves, and it's like, all right, it's definitely gonna be the last night.
Yeah, I was like, let me just enjoy this last night of baseball.
It's like, I don't care.
And by the sixth inning, our housemates and I were playing Leather Skin Leather in our room while watching it.
Yeah, that was a long game. So we had to have our own activities in our house there. There was the grand slam, and then it kind of all went downhill with the Braves from there. As I think what we forgot about after that grand slam was like, yeah, the Braves still got an interesting pitching situation. They've had all their relievers go. the past 2 nights. You got Tucker Davidson out there. You don't know what's going to happen there. He ended up allowing 4 runs. Only 2 of them earned, though.
Yeah, because Dansby made an error.
Yeah, and I think all the runs scored after the second out, which means that's all unearned.
Yeah.
And he had 3 walks, 1 strikeout, 2 hits allowed. You know, not much that you're expecting there. Jesse Chavez actually went an inning and 2/3, no runs allowed, but Minter surprisingly ended up allowing 3 runs. That was after 2 walks and 3 hits. Got BABIP'd a little bit, but you know, he allowed 3 runs. And yeah, I guess the Astros came through when they needed to.
They did. Yeah, I mean, they went, I think, 5 for 14 with runners in scoring position that game.
Yeah, 5 for 15.
5 for 15. Okay, I mean, listen, you have 15 plate appearances in a game with runners in scoring position. You're probably going to come through most of those times. I mean, how often do you see like 1 for 15?
Yeah, that doesn't really happen.
That's insane, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so Astros came through when they needed to, just going down the line like Carlos Correa, 3 for 5, 2 RBI. Alex Bregman got moved down. He had an RBI single early in the game. And overall, they were 12 for 38. And just, you know, a good game. I don't know. I feel like there wasn't many surprises outside of maybe Framber getting tagged again.
Yeah.
That was kind of surprising to see, especially after we talked about how, you know, he got BABIP'd a little bit in his last start. And, you know, shout out to the Astros bullpen this time. 6 1/3, no runs allowed.
Yeah.
They did tremendous. 6 strikeouts, 1 walk to go with that. So, I mean, you know, I don't know if there was anything surprising to take away from Game 5. It was the Braves' worst pitching situation they could have had, given that this was supposed to be Charlie Morton's game. Obviously, you know, he fractured his fibula or something.
It was his fibula.
He fractured his fibula, so that can't happen. And I feel, you know, if the Braves won that, it would have been like, wow, they really did it. But it was a tough path.
It absolutely was. You know, obviously stuff happens. You know, Charlie Morton broke his leg, and I mean, I don't know. I don't think there really isn't much else to say that. It really sucks looking back now that a 9-run outburst for the Astros could have been prevented by Charlie Morton being on the mound, especially at home.
Yeah, in a potential clincher.
Yeah.
Like that's the guy you would have wanted out there. But the Braves will have Max Fried in Game 6 against. Do we know exactly?
No, we don't, because they used. It would be lined up for Jose Urquidy, but they used him last night.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
Like, did they go back to Luis Garcia on 3 days rest? Did they go with a bullpen game? Like, I don't know.
I mean,
they kind of just did a bullpen game.
I wouldn't be too surprised to see Urquidy out there looking at it. He threw 14 pitches, and he has the day. But, you know, from what we remember, Max Scherzer had he had a relief appearance in Game 5 of the NLDS. He was unable to, and that was like under 20 pitches as well. And he didn't go out for Game 1. He went out for Game 2, and eventually he couldn't go Game 6 because of arm fatigue. So you never know who's going to be affected by what. But I wouldn't be surprised if Urquidy was out there. I also wouldn't be surprised if Urquidy was not out there, I guess, is my diagnosis. Not too much of a hot take. But, yeah, it's going to be Max Fried. We don't know what's going to happen. I feel like if he should just try to roll ground balls again. Like he did.
I mean, Max Fried is kind of, you know, we were talking about him being a playoff legend. He struggled his last couple starts.
Yeah, he has. He has for sure. And, I mean, this is going to be the biggest start of his life. Like, this is a potential clincher. They're in Houston, so the odds are kind of against them if they go to a 7th game.
Max Fried gave up 2 runs in combined in each of his first 2 playoff starts. Since then, he's gone 9 2/3 innings, 11 earned runs, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts, 15 hits allowed, 10.24 ERA for a 5.24 FIP.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yep. Yeah, has not been quite the guy we saw against the Brewers and in game 2 against or game 1. Yeah,
Something
game
like
1.
that.
Game 1 against the Dodgers. So it's I think the story of game 6 is like which Max Fried are we gonna see? Also, like, are things gonna get through the same? Like, he's not gonna have that second inning again that he had.
I would hope. Yeah, I mean, my God, that was brutal.
The anti-analytics inning, as we
Yep.
like to call it.
Yeah. What was let's go. Can we talk about? I know we're previewing Game 6, but can we talk about that one A-Rod tweet?
What this past weekend?
Yes.
Yeah, this is probably a new segment that,
A-Rod's dumb tweets.
just it's strictly a postseason thing because that's really the only time we
Yeah,
see
here
him
it
talk
is.
about it.
Braves, do you want to win the Battle of October 29th, or do you want to win a World Series? They chose that first one with this strategy. This is Game 3, not Game 7. A-Rod, you know what your former Hall of Fame manager Joe Torre used to say? It's a race to 4. You try to win every game that you can get.
Yeah.
And that's what the Braves did. And guess what? They won. They won the Battle of October 29th and the Battle of October 30th. And they only
Exactly.
lost the Battle of October 31st because the guy that was on the hill for the first one was hurt.
Really, yeah, truly, that's 100% accurate. If you have Morton out there instead of Davidson, like, I mean, I don't know if the Astros end up scoring 5 runs.
Yeah, no.
I don't know if they do
It's
that.
hard to imagine, especially like with the Braves getting out there. Like it would have been so easy to see Charlie Morton just buckle down when there was less pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you try to win each game, like, as simple as that is.
Yeah.
Pretty tough. So that was the A-Rod segment for today. Well, we'll probably have one next episode.
Yep.
As he'll probably say something very
Yeah.
myopic
Yep.
again.
Absolutely.
But I guess I don't know. How do we see the rest of the series playing out?
I mean, I had Braves in 7 as my original prediction.
Mhm.
I think I'm just gonna stick with that.
Yeah.
I think we see a Game 7. I think it's. I mean, it'd be Anderson again versus who the hell knows. I mean, hey, Kevin Millar said at Game 7 anything can happen. Doesn't matter who's starting. There's literally no
Right.
foundational thing that you can say is going to happen.
Right. I mean, yeah.
It would be the second Game 7 that Ian Anderson has pitched before his age 25 season.
I'm trying to think of Game 7s that have happened recently, like 2016.
24. Wow.
2016 it was Kluber versus Hendricks.
Yep.
And the Cubs ended up out on top, and then like 2017 it was Darvish versus what?
McCullers. No, it was McCullers.
Yeah,
it was McCullers.
Because Morton came in relief.
Yeah.
So-
2019 it was Strasburg versus, or it was Scherzer versus Greinke.
yeah.
Like 2 future Hall of Famers.
Yeah. So
And now who knows?
who knows? Who really knows?
Who knows? Not me.
Like both of these pitching staffs are so decimated, and they're still just like, hey Ken Rosenthal, if you're wondering why starting pitching hasn't been present in this World Series,
It's because they're all hurt.
they're all hurt, guy.
They're all hurt.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Game 5 was supposed to be Charlie Morton versus Lance McCullers.
Yes,
They're both out
but like
for the rest of the
you
postseason.
can dig deeper. Verlander's out.
Yeah.
Soroka's out.
Exactly. That's Game 1. That's literally Game 1. Like,
Yeah.
we're talking Game 1, Verlander, Soroka. Game 2, Morton versus McCullers. They're all out. So guess what? We got Framber Valdez versus the Braves bullpen in Game 1. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you want us to say?
Not only that, but the
all
Braves-
of their best pitchers are hurt.
The Braves bullpen has been nails all postseason. Why would you take the ball out of their hands?
Exactly. Like Ian Anderson, realistically, when we outlook the season, we probably looked at him as the 4 starter. Like,
Yeah.
considering,
And I'm saying this as like the leader of the Ian Anderson fan club.
yeah, it's just like that this was not supposed to be the rotation they had planned. They were supposed to have Morton, Fried, or I don't know, Fried, Morton, Soroka. I don't know if order matters, but
Whatever.
Anderson.
Yeah.
And they didn't. Now they have only 2 of those guys.
Mhm.
And the Astros, out of, on their payroll, they have their 2 best pitchers out.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to say, Ken, but that's what I will say
Yeah.
about that. That's I guess that's the last of that
Yeah.
of that
Whatever.
of that tweet that he had.
Uh-huh.
I just realized that, like, yeah, maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the case. So, yeah, Game 6 and Game 7, if Game 7 happens, should be interesting. Astros in 6 cannot come true, so I
No, it
can't stick
can't.
with mine.
Yeah.
The Astros can't win 2 games in Game 6, unfortunately for me.
Be crazy if they did.
They'd make history,
Yeah.
no doubt,
It's the first team in MLB history.
to win 2 games in a game.
How about that?
Yeah, I have no clue what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, you could say Braves in 6. You can join me. You can say Astros in 7.
yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
everything has just been so
It's been very weird. Like this
random.
entire series is not. I mean, it could go the way I expected, but not in this way. Actually, I mean, I guess I did have the Braves winning Game 3 and then stealing one of Games 4 or 5, and that's exactly what happened. But just the way everything has happened has been so unexpected.
Yes. Like
Like Morton getting hurt, Anderson shoving like he did, like
Like-
Urquidy in Game 2,
Fried not being the guy.
even if he got BABIP'd.
Yeah, even if he got BABIP'd. Yeah, like it's so unpredictable. I'm just not gonna have a prediction. Is what I'll do.
That's valid.
So I don't want to be wrong again. I've been wrong too many times this season.
Yep.
So I'll just hold off and just watch as a spectator.
Absolutely.
Okay. What? I guess I don't know. Should we end how we were planning on ending it?
I mean, one last thought. Like, in every Astros World Series in recent history, like, they've gone to a Game 7.
Yeah.
2017, 2019, there have been Game 7s.
Yeah.
And I think that trend continues.
Yeah, that's a valid thing. Yeah, what would be their Game 7 match? It would be Garcia Anderson again, right?
I guess so, yeah.
That's
But,
actually
like, what are they doing in Game 6? Like, are they going with Urquidy on 1 day's rest?
right. Right, exactly.
know.
Yeah, I no clue, but I think the Astros bringing it back to Minute Maid made things a whole lot more interesting.
It did. Just it's another baseball thing. We don't have to get too much into this, but Bob Melvin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in the out in Oakland, inserted in San Diego.
Yeah, Bob Melvin. He is going away from the A's.
Mm-hmm.
He going away from
Shocking news.
Going
This came from out of literally nowhere.
going away from the place that has the least off-season spending to the place with the most off-season spending, at least in recent years.
This is exciting, yeah.
Yeah.
We've been talking about so many potential Padres managers, people that they've interviewed, from Ozzie Guillen, Luis Rojas, Mike Shiltz. They've gone numerous different routes. I don't think they could have made a better hire. We had no idea that Bob Melvin was even on the market. This is a grand slam of a hire for San Diego.
Yeah, I would agree with that because I honestly I wasn't really thinking about it that much until you just brought it up, and I'm realizing Bob Melvin, we don't think of him as new age, but he's been on the forefront of bullpenning and openers and all that type of stuff. I think the Rays were the first team to get into that. The A's were probably the second team to get into that. I remember 2018 was when bullpenning and openers kind of started, and I just remember Daniel Mengden would come in in the second inning, and I mean he led them to some great season, or at least great regular.
Two straight 97 win seasons.
Yeah,
and a division title the next year.
Yeah, I think the Padres are in great hands.
It's funny because I said that regardless of what the Padres do this offseason, no one's going to see this offseason as a win.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we could have never predicted this was going to happen because
Yeah.
there was no there was no public knowledge that Bob Melvin was out was on the market until the hiring was made official, which I believe there's a press conference today. But I mean, there is very much reason to look at the Padres in a much more positive light going into next year, because you got to consider the talent they have, and now they have a different manager, and it's not necessarily a knock against Jace Tingler, but I mean, you cannot complain with having Bob Melvin as your manager.
It's true, because another factor as well is one thing we talked about with like the Padres, like the forefront of their struggles was their starting pitching.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Melvin has dealt with very shallow rotation depth before,
Mm-hmm.
and his entire time with Oakland, pretty much outside of maybe when they had like Lester and Samardzija for
half a year,
for like 1/3 of a year.
Yeah.
Outside of that, he has never dealt with great rotational depth. So if the Padres starting staff isn't all the way there, Melvin's going to be able to manage around it a little better.
Absolutely, and it's not even like they didn't have the depth. It was just people were hurt or underperforming.
Yeah.
You have Clevenger coming back next year. You have Snell. You have Darvish looking to have comeback seasons. Like this is really exciting for San Diego. I know that we said all that last year, but this is different. I feel like really this is different from last year, from 2015, from all the years that the Padres underperformed.
Yeah.
There's very good reason to be excited in San Diego.
Exactly. And I mean, I feel like this year was still like a little fluky with how many guys underperformed for them. But,
yeah. I mean, there's no way you could predict that team to be under 500 again.
Right. Unless 2020 was the fluky season.
Yeah.
Which is there's a case of that was probably a factor, but they just looking at all the talent, you're adding Clevenger without even like having to sign him or anything.
Yep.
Yeah, they're in a good spot, and they've made themselves get into a better spot hiring Bob Melvin. So I guess to close it out, as this will be, I guess, a bit of a shorter one, as we only have one series to talk about.
Yeah.
Some terrible news came across the internet on Sunday morning. Jerry Remy, beloved NESN broadcaster, also former second baseman for the Red Sox and Angels and what have you, passed away at the age of 68 in his 7th battle with cancer. And this one hit close to both Daniel and I, as we grew up watching the New England Sports Network, listening to Jerry Remy on the broadcast, especially with Don Orsillo for what truly was our childhood, and eventually with Dave O'Brien, who's also great. And I will say the best part of 2020 Red Sox was having O'Brien, Remy, and Eckersley in the same booth for pretty much every game.
And same thing for the 2015 Red Sox with Orsillo and Remy. I mean, like it felt less like a broadcast and more just like hanging out with your friends watching some baseball.
Yeah.
Like that is how they made 162 games a year feel. It's a marathon every single year, and Don and Jerry just made it seem very natural. It was a different fun thing happening every night away from the field to distract us from the last place team that we had to watch every night.
Yeah.
There have been so many just perfect words that have been said from several different individuals over the internet. I think like Gary Streisky said, like Jerry Remy is an institution. Like everything you've heard about him is true. Mm-hmm. He's it's just it hurts. It really hurts.
Yeah, it's really tough for especially people our age. Mm-hmm. Like that's the guy that actually going back to like what our sports broadcasting classes, we talked about like what announcing was to us or what broadcasting was to us. It was Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy. That's what it was.
Like it was, whether it was the pizza incident, whether it was Jerry losing his tooth, Don getting him like a new lamp, and Jerry getting Don a new lamp and him loving it, and that was like it was a game within a game almost.
Yeah.
And it was perfect. And they had found the perfect way to just find like the places to do everything. It was always at good points in the game. Like they never distracted from a crucial moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just a very nice individual. Always, apparently he was, always very approachable.
Chris, you and I both had the fortune of meeting him.
Yes. I actually, I met him in 2019 as part of a thing that me and my parents were able to do, and obviously very nice to talk to. And yeah, it's really terrible to hear about this, but this was his 7th battle with cancer, and part of us are all glad that his battle is over. And
Yeah, I mean, seven battles with cancer. My gosh.
yeah, he definitely was a trooper.
He was a fighter
For
to
sure.
the very end.
So that marks the end of the episode. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to follow us on social media, follow me on Twitter at Chris_Gianta. Follow Daniel on both Twitter and Instagram at Daniel_Curran. And follow the show Instagram at Above Replacement Radio for all the show needs. And we hope you enjoyed this one. And we hope to see you on Thursday, where we are going to be talking about the World Series champions. And
It's true.
and how they won. Did they win it in 6? Did they win it in 7? Who won it in 7? It's gonna be cool. Gonna be cool to talk about. So we will see you then.
This conversation is over.